Hi guys, this is Emmett Stallworth again, the Alpha Builder. Hey builders, you got to get your credit. Got to get that in order. Let's get into it. All right guys, this is Emmett again, the Alpha Builder. I want to talk about something that a lot of people don't really like to talk about. Especially, well, we get into this. People don't like to talk about finances, credit, things like that. I don't even think they teach this stuff in school. As a matter of fact, I know they don't really teach it in school. But one of the most important things that you can have if you're trying to start a home building company, one of the main things you're gonna have to have is personal credit. You got to have your credit, which means that you got to go out here and you got to pay everybody. If you owe folks, you got to pay them back. Got to pay everything. I mean, you got to have good credit, guys. Now, I'm not saying you have to have 800 credit scores. We look at our FICO, which is a accumulation of what your score is going to be. They look at TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. But those scores can go from about 550 all the way to 820. And I may have those numbers wrong, but as a builder, you need to be floating in the mid 700s on your credit score. And the reason I say the mid 700s is because you're gonna have to be the personal guarantor of your company, especially when you're first getting started out. You're gonna have to be that person that extend credit for your company. See, your suppliers are just not gonna give this stuff to your company or your LLC, especially if you're in an LLC and you haven't established anything and you just getting started building. They're not gonna just extend credit to a LLC that they don't know. Now, if a corporation, and when I say corporation, that means you got board members, you report your minutes and things like that to the state every so many months, and you have built up your credit score, you built those things up over several years, it's a different ball game. But if you are a custom builder, in most cases, or LLC, you're gonna have to extend your credit, your personal credit, to your company. You gotta have that. So which means you gotta have a good credit score. Which also means, and guys, let me tell you something about credit. A lot of people, I got buddies of mine that call me, hey man, my credit score 820 and 8 something. You know what credit score tells us? It doesn't tell us that you can afford it. It tells us that you have a habit of paying people back. That's what it tells us. It doesn't say anything about, that's why when you go and you get a loan, they want to look at your check stubs and stuff like that. They, credit score just it's not a, back in the day when they had these predatory loans and stuff like that, they would just look at your credit and stuff like that. But now, credit don't really tell me whether or not you can afford something. It tells me whether or not you have a track record of paying people back when you borrow. That's what it says. And if you are a custom builder and you just kind of getting into the mix of this right here, you got to have some credit, guys. You're not going to be, unless you get now one thing that can really help you out, and I'm starting to see this now, I just started, is an American Express Unlimited that you can go charge up to, heck, whatever. It don't matter what you charge as long as you pay it back at the end of the month. And then you better have a plan for that too. So just don't go out here and charge them and buy cars and stuff like that. I like to go ahead and charge things up, and then I can just get my draw from the bank and pay them back. That helps too. Makes your credit look better. But you got to have your personal credit in order. You got to have that in order. As a matter of fact, in the state of Alabama, each year you have to do a renewal of your home builder's license. Every year. Costs you about $300 each year. You got to renew it. It's not like you just get issued a home builder's license and you just got it. From here on after, each year you have to get a renewal. You get a renewal yearly. And one of the main things they check your credit. Well, they check your company's credit. They make sure that your company is not is paying their bills back to these suppliers. They have a credit system, I think in Alabama it's called Holloway Credit. So they look at concrete companies and all these major companies, and they see whether or not you on the list of making sure you pay them back. But ultimately, guys, your company can't exist by itself. You gotta have good credit. And just because, I have my buddies talking about they got like 820 and I got 820, what's the purpose in having those big credit scores? You're not using it. Now the reason I say about the mid sevens is because you're gonna have to go out here and you're gonna have to get hard hits on your credit. Concrete, lumber. These guys got to do a hard hit on your credit in order to extend you credit for their company. You don't want to have to sit here and write a check or do a COD for a lumber package. Or, and usually lumber packages come in loads, 1, 2, 3, 4 loads. You don't want to have to sit here and pay for one load, and once they get that, once your framers and stuff get that up, then you're trying to pay for another load, and then your framers, they got to stop working and wait for that load to get here because you got to pay them. You don't want to do that. You want to have credit with that supplier, and it starts with your personal credit. They're going to do a hard hit on your personal credit. And let me say something too, guys. If you got suppliers, pay them. Guys, pay them. And I'm going to tell you something too, man. If you got, especially local suppliers, I'm not talking about the national guy, even the national suppliers. If you, and here's the thing, guys, builders go through ups and downs. I know I'm jumping place to place, but builders go up and down. You're going to go through a time it's going to be tough. I know in 2007, man, I had to, I damn near lost it all. But you're going to go through time when things are tough for you personally. And you might not be able to pay your bills. That happens. And I'm just going to tell you guys, it is what it is. When you go to some of these suppliers and you go through a downturn in your business and you can't pay these guys, but you pay them. So you go through a point where you're slow paying them, or you have a hard time paying them, but you actually pay them. They're not going to extend your credit again. You done severed that relationship with them. That's just the way they work. I don't care if you did pay them back. So what should make you want to pay them back? Number one, you don't want to have to get sued for stuff like that, and especially when you're a personal guarantor, because when you sign that application, you signed as a personal guarantor, which means you're a person on the line. And there's ways around it, guys. I know if you got an LLC, you can split yourself up. Now it gets to an honor code, guys. You as a builder, you have to have a certain level of honor. There needs to be morals and ethics built within you as a builder. You can't just be out here operating and say, I'm just going to pay them back. I don't care. I know I owe them. I had people when I was younger, man, I had people I loaned money to, and those jokers looked me in the face when I wanted my money back. They looked me in the face, man, you knew I didn't have it when you loaned it to me. And then they told me, look, as long as I owe you, you never go broke. This is the kind of stuff. This is a crippled mindset. And if you have a mindset like that, you're not going to last long in any business. Because there's a certain mindset that you have to have when you're in business, especially in business. Because when you're in business as a builder, your job is to protect that homeowner. That's what your job is, especially if you're a custom builder. You're building this house, you're making sure it's code compliant, you're making sure these contractors, these suppliers, and these subcontractors are not doing anything that can put those homeowners in jeopardy, like i.e. building the house right. And there's a certain ethical code that you need to carry with you. And one code is you do what you say you're gonna do. And if you make a deal with somebody, you say you're gonna pay them, pay them. And I'm guilty of it myself. I've ran through tough times, and I'm not saying I'm immune to it. I've ran through times when I'm paying them slow. I'm gonna get them done. And guys, I'm gonna pick up the phone and call them. If I owe them something, I'm not gonna just avoid their phone calls. Pick the phone up. Hey man, I'm working on it. I'm gonna get it taken care of. Well, we need it now. I know, man. I'm gonna get it. Get these people paid off. Pay them off. Get them off your back. But these are some of the things, man. So your credit, guys, is critical. That's your lifeline. That's your life. This is how you exist. If you don't have personal credit as a builder, you are in trouble, especially if you're just getting started out. So what you got to do, you got to, number one, if you owe people, pay them off. Don't be out here getting in debt and stuff like that. I mean, we out here buying cars and stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a brand new car. Stuff like that, all this stuff that you really don't need. You're trying to impress people that you don't like. We can keep going with this right here, guys. But pay your bills. Pay your bills off. If you got debtors, pay them off. Get them done. Get your credit right. Now, guys, you got to understand that no credit is just as bad as bad credit. So if you don't have any way that people can judge you, see whether or not you are accustomed to paying people back, that can be a problem as well. So guys, you got to get your credit right. And I'm going to just make sure I got everything that I want to talk about here, guys. Guys, and this goes into another aspect too, guys. If your ethical and your ethical and moral mindset, I get into. Let me just talk about my people just for a second. I'm always have a little side episode where I talk about my people. In the African American community, we kind of think it's an honor to not pay, or to get things free, or to get a deal. Ooh, I got a deal. I didn't have to pay them back. We got to undo that mindset. We need to have pride. Guys, I don't have a problem in paying, especially for my knowledge. If there is something, if I can go to a class and I can learn something, and I got to pay for it, I have absolutely no problem paying for it. Pay it. And I would pay it. Guys, I would pay. If some of my friends that I talk to, and we all share with each other, so we all help one another out. I got builder friends of mine right now. If I didn't know how to build and they didn't feed off of me and I didn't feed off of them and I just got in contact with them, I would actually reach out to a couple of them and say, hey man, I'm going to pay. I'll pay you, man, for you just to sit down and talk to you for 30 minutes, an hour, just to coach me, man, because I want to do what you're doing. And obviously you are succeeding, or you're doing what you need to do in order to stay in that game. I would pay for that knowledge. But for some odd reason, like I said, guys, we always think, man, I had to pay for that, man. I got that for a deal. I don't subscribe to that mindset. I knew my dog would do that. The bottom line, guys, if your credit is not good, or if you mess your credit up in this game, you're done for at least 7 years. At least 7 years. And I'm going to tell you guys, we don't have time to be out the game. If you get put out this game, you'd have missed that train. Because this train is moving, it's not stopping. If you're out this game, see the name of the game, guys, the name of this building game, especially if you're a custom builder or if you're a spec builder, the name of the game is to continue to build and stay in the game and constantly learn and grow your knowledge base of what you're doing. But and while you're in it, you're learning. If you get knocked off of this thing and you jump off the train, it's hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. God, it's hard to get back on this wagon. Once again, guys, you guys like, share, subscribe. I do have a members channel, and people are starting to actually, like, the members channel is a diary. If you really want to be a builder, you can follow me through a house that's being built right now, and I'm walking through every facet of that home. I appreciate you guys and trying to get the right extra. Let's do this right here, guys. You guys have a good one.